show is on
It's
now. We're live.
Yeah, sports questions and
Football
answers.
question.
Has anybody
Live
seen my
here
dad?
on the JV report.
Has anybody
YouTube
hike?
page.
Wait,
Hike.
has anybody seen my dad? For real, I haven't seen my dad in like a week.
Not exactly how it goes. How is your dad?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a week.
Well, that's good to know. Live here on YouTube on the JV report. AJ lost his dad, and I started getting a bloody nose right before the show, but hey, told it to stop, and it's going to hold off until the show ends. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Quarterback Center Exchange. There's your boy. Did you get a haircut? It looks nice.
Yeah.
Looking fresh. It was a Valentine's Day present, wasn't it?
Well, actually, it was the day after Valentine's Day present for me.
Today. So it's a fresh. Look,
it's fresh as a jet. It's as fresh as that Eagles Super Bowl victory.
That's about a week old now. Like the parade's already happened. Still not fresh. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Quarterback Center Exchange.
You already did that part. What's next?
This is AJ with the fresh haircut. We talked about the Eagles.
Have you seen my dad?
But speaking of the Eagles, great transition because the Eagles lost their offensive coordinator after a debacle, I guess is a polite way to put it, happened in Indianapolis where the Colts had Josh McDaniels. They had a press conference assigned, and now Josh McDaniels is no longer the coach. So they got Frank Reich, the head coach or the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Given that situation, is that probably the best move they could have done at that time?
Yeah, I think he's a better decision than Josh McDaniels would be anyways. I mean, he's a genius. He just showed that in the Super Bowl, so.
Very true. Do you think he's the best option out there? I mean, we have previous head coaches like Jim Caldwell still available.
Yeah, but, I mean, in the NFL, a lot of these coaches that get rehired don't end up doing much of anything anyways, so. It's always good to give the new guy a shot.
You know who it struck me is still available after this round of coaching hires? Is the good old Jeff Fisher. Is he ever going to get a job again?
No, he sucks. He's old and needs to just stop. He's a terrible football coach.
What do you think about the Colts' chances under first-time head coach Frank Reich with a young quarterback in Andrew Luck?
Andrew Luck's got to be healthy to play next year. Without him, they got no shot. And with Andrew Luck, they're a 10-6 football team every year, no matter who's the coach.
Ballsy situation, ballsy prediction.
What's
right
ballsy
there.
About it? Look at the statistics. They've been 12-4, 11-5, 10-6 every year that Andrew Luck's played. It's the same thing. It's the
records every year.
It's the Peyton Manning syndrome. It's the same thing as when Peyton Manning got hurt and they didn't have a quarterback, they couldn't win. You need to win. You need a quarterback in the NFL to win.
He's proven that he's that offensive-minded guy. I'm still looking forward to a first-time head coach. I didn't know much about him until I didn't know the name Frank Reich until I couldn't tell you his name during the Super Bowl.
And so you're in sports. You do sports.
Yeah, I do sports.
Wow.
Because him and John DeFilipino or whatever, they kind of split the role.
Whatever.
Moving on. Have you been watching any of the Olympics, AJ?
I watched some group figure skating stuff on Sunday.
And your thoughts on that?
Look like the goddamn Hunger Games out there with those announcers. That's all I'm going to say.
I've just seen pictures of the announcers, but I haven't watched any of the Olympics. And I really think to me it's because that there are no – because I usually get into like the hockey of the Winter Olympics, but the NHL is not allowing their players to go play in the Winter Olympics this year. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's hurting the Winter Olympics overall?
Yeah, I do, because it's not – I mean, I know that a lot of the big attractions are figure skating and snowboarding and all the other sports, but, I mean, really the biggest draw, just like in the Summer Olympics, the biggest draw is the basketball tournament. The biggest draw in the Winter Olympics is supposed to be the men's hockey tournament when you got, Canada's best team versus the USA, and you got Sweden and Russia. And everybody's got all their talent and all their best players playing, then that's the most exciting time to watch. I mean, basically, we're basically back to the 1980s when the U.S. beat Soviet Russia and won the Olympic gold. They made a movie about it, Disney movie, Miracle.
How do you think the USA's chances against the United Soviets, Russia's chances are this year?
I don't even know who's playing for the United States or for Russia, because all the NHL players who are the best players in the world, because no matter what people say, the best players in every sport that want to play professionally all come to America to play.
Agreed to a point, because Pavel Datsuk's in Russia, and he's playing for Team Russia this year.
Pavel Datsuk is an old guy, right?
Yeah, he's very old, very Red Wing.
Yeah, very much not wanted in the American leagues anymore, so that's why he's playing in Russia. Same reason Jaromir Jagr's out there. I mean,
I was gonna say, I was looking forward to hearing.
He's like 75 years old, so I mean, he's not gonna. You're not gonna put if he's on a U.S. team that's full of NHL stars, which I know he's not from the U.S. He wouldn't even be on the team.
Even on a USA squad?
No, he's 50 years old.
He's 50 years old, but he still plays hockey better than you and I combined.
Yeah, we don't have any experience playing hockey whatsoever. I've never even put on ice skates and played hockey.
I actually have played gymnasium hockey 2 or 3 times in gym class, so I do have.
That's a fine.
So far, USA's winning all the gold medals in like snowboarding and skate park and whatever's going on during the Winter Olympics. I'm just so excited about it. I love all the Winter Olympics. So moving on to let's go on to the MLB, because there's a lot of players still unsigned with the MLB free agency, and all these unsigned players are having this, as they call it, spring training called Camp Jobless. And so like they're all getting together, they're working out for spring training, because any minute they're going to get a call, because as soon as the first third baseman gets hurt, Eric Hosmer is going to get a call regardless of who it is. So, but they had their first workout yesterday with all the pitchers and catchers reporting, and they actually escorted out a scout who was supposed to scout them, who was there to scout these free agents. What do you think of that move? What do you think of that move of kicking out a scout of a free agent available player workout?
Why was the scout there? What did he do to get kicked out?
The player union just said they don't want executives there. They don't want scouts. He was literally escorted out. Like, he was told, "Hey, you're not welcome here." So he was kicked out. No scouts are welcome. They're having closed practices, a closed spring. So basically, your thoughts on a closed spring training for these free agents? Because that's kind of the MLB.
They've been in a lot of these players have been in the major leagues for a legitimate period of time, and they're deserving to get paid, like JD Martinez and Eric Hosmer and some of these other pitchers. And they're not getting paid because a lot of the major league teams are not spending any money. So they shouldn't have to go and try out for teams. You know, they're already in the system. They're already major league players. It's not like you're trying out or it's a combine, you're trying to get to the draft. These guys are legitimate MLB players and should be on rosters, and it's a shame for what it is.
I will agree with you. It's a shame that players like the 3 big names, JD Martinez, Eric Hosmer, Jake Arrieta, just 3 of the big names. Yu Darvish would have been in that camp. Luckily,
Jake Arrieta just won a Cy Young a couple years ago, didn't he?
No, yeah, he did. He sure did. And and Eric Hosmer and JD Martinez arguably.
And we all know the Tigers need some good pitching up in Motown. So
no kidding. Jeez Louise.
But they're not going to spend $130 million on a pitcher. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah,
everybody. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get to the beginning of the season where these guys are going to have to sign contracts in order to play, and make them sign smaller contracts than what they're actually worth.
So who sucks in this situation? Is it the agents who are making their players hold out, or is it the owners who won't sign these?
It's the teams who won't offer up the money that these players deserve.
Well, that brings up my next. Is this an issue that was started by Jeter?
No, this was started a long time before Jeter. Jeter's just really good at fire sales.
I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm not too familiar with their collective bargaining agreement, but people keep blaming the collective bargaining agreement. So I don't understand how you can let like a Jake Arrieta. I mean, we've seen like at least one prominent name go a while into free agent or a while into spring training, but not like Eric Hosmer, JD Martinez, Jake Arrieta, 3. But I also still think that
What do you think?
There's also 125 other free agents there that are looking to get scouted, because you have these NFL free agent combine, you have NBA player evaluations. Why not let these MLB free agents get a look at in this close spring training?
I don't know. It's the whole thing's a crappy situation. So it's bad for baseball because they've got tons and tons of money to spend. Everybody's got the money because they've all got a shared TV deal. Everybody gets cash. Everybody's rich. And all of a sudden, everybody wants to say they're going to go into the tanking routine that the Astros and Cubs have done in the past. And I don't even get why the Cubs didn't bring Arrieta back. They got money. They can bring him back. There's no real salary cap in Major League Baseball.
That's what I was going to say. There's really not a salary cap.
I mean, if you can afford to give guys like Giancarlo Stanton a $300 million contract, Bryce Harper's looking at a $500 million contract when he's a free agent. I mean, if you can afford to pay those guys, you can pay Eric Hosmer, $90 to $100 million for 7 years to play baseball.
Well, do you think that these guys, because Bryce Harper is scheduled to be a free agent next year?
Yeah, and he's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid. Do you think that is what's hindering some of these teams to go after Hosmer or?
No, because you can't in baseball. You can't build a team around free agents that are going to be free agents in 2 years like you can in basketball. Because basketball, you got 5 guys on the court. In baseball, you got to have 5 starting pitchers for the season. Plus, you got to have you got 9 players in the field. You got to field a 25-man roster for 162 games. And if you've got a chance to pick up a legitimate number 1 ace and a Cy Young pitcher in Jake Arrieta, you got to pick him up. If you got a chance to pick up a cleanup hitter in JD Martinez, who's proven that he can hit the ball out of the park and come up with big hits and big runs, you got to sign him if you can. If you need that position on your team. If you need a first baseman or third baseman in Eric Hosmer, you got to get him because you need the talent. You need to win now.
Well, the word is that Eric Hosmer has 2 deals on the table. I just don't. He's good money. I mean, over 150 mil, obviously, for an 8-year and a 9-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it's just he doesn't want to commit that long, or I don't understand? Why would you not take?
I think he wants more money. I don't know.
I don't get it either. I mean, Hosmer's a good bat. As much as I hated him as a Royal, he's a good bat. Any lineup should take him in a heartbeat, especially the Tigers right now. But the more I thought about this today, I actually was pondering the Tiger season, and I think they have a good shot in that Central Division. Speaking of chances of teams, it's time for another exciting edition of the Pick 6. But guess what we're doing today?
Sports.
We're picking all 6 MLB divisions who we're saying on the air right now are way too early division champs. We're picking all 6 divisions. So
exciting.
We're going to go down the list. Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm excited too.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what? What are we doing?
So we're starting out with the AL East. Who's winning the AL East this year?
The Yankees.
Easy. The Yankees as well. Boston will put up a fight. I think the Yankees will.
Yeah.
AL West.
Houston.
You got Houston going back again.
Yeah.
I got
Houston. Is there
Houston
a problem with that? Oh, wow. Okay, wow. Very good.
Well, since I'm not just going to mimic you, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Central first, and I think the Indians are going to win the Central again.
Oh, geez. Me too.
Oh, wow. Wow, how original. Who's your AL wild card?
Who's my AL wild card? To be honest with you, it's going to be either Boston or Detroit.
Really?
Yeah, I think Detroit's still going to have a decent year. People are always down on the Tigers. Well, at least lately they're down on the Tigers, but I think at some point during the season they're going to be somewhat close within the playoff race, and they're going to try to do good by Miggy since he's the only one left, and try to put a team together to get to the playoffs.
I agree. I was just thinking today that I think the Tigers have actually a better team than we're giving them credit for. They have a young team.
Yeah, they have a young team, but the thing is, like, if you think about it, 4 years ago when they went to the World Series, they had 3 Cy Young pitchers on their staff in Scherzer and Verlander and David Price. And now they're all gone, along with all the talent and JD Martinez. I mean, I know they had the fire sale last year, mid-year, and then they traded away Verlander, but I don't know. I guess it's just because I'm around Detroit and I kind of like their baseball team, so.
And hey, for everyone that they got rid of, they made solid returns on. I mean, people forget that. I think it was David Price. I forget who was traded. Oh, I'm sorry. Yoenis Cespedes was traded for Michael Fulmer. But David Price and Max Scherzer were all traded. Alex Avila was even traded for Candinero, who's going to start third base for the Tigers this year. Exciting bat to watch that year. I'm looking forward to the Tiger season. But I think Shohei Ohtani is going to make an impact in LA, and I think LA is going to be the wild card team, the LA Angels.
I think LA is such an anemic place to be right now. They're always supposed to be good, and not always, but the last couple of years they're supposed to be really good, and they haven't been.
I'm buying into the preseason hype, just like
I don't see it changing. Even just me and Albert Pujols, and I don't know.
I like Mike, and I think we're all buying into the Yankees hype a little too much because they're going to be a really good team.
Because they got the NL MVP for a washing machine.
Name me this. When was the last time? I'm not going to deny you that they have an excellent team. When was the last time that a first-year manager won a division?
I don't know. That doesn't matter. Managers don't do anything in baseball anyways, except F shit up or F stuff up. Sorry. Like, you got me all excited.
Like Brad Ausmus did?
They just mess stuff up in the playoffs. Yes, that's all they do is mess stuff up in the playoffs. That's all.
Oh, geez.
Boy,
we could have an entire show where I disagree with that, but we're going to go ahead and move on. We named our AL playoff teams. Let's go to the NL East. Who you got winning out of the NL East?
Okay, the NL East. It's not going to be the Marlins because they suck. Derek Jeter's the worst. So I'm going to pick the Nationals. They've got the best pitching and the best lineup, so that's an easy one.
Guess who's also going Nationals too?
Probably me. You. Yeah, all right.
Out of the NL West, don't want to do it. It's a toss-up for me between the Giants and the Dodgers, but I am going to go ahead and go Dodgers. So I want you to go ahead and try and guess who I think is going to make the wild card. Dodgers, you said?
Yeah, Dodgers.
NL Central.
Cardinals.
You got the Cardinals, really?
Yeah. Because everybody's going to pick the Cubs. I'm sick of this crap.
You don't like that.
They're going to be cursed by Jake Arrieta because they didn't bring him back and they brought in Yu Darvish, who's a hot trash can and a dumpster fire. So
I do agree that the Cubbies are far from Yu Darvish is far from Jake Arrieta. That I'll give you.
Yu Darvish didn't he play for the Dodgers last year?
He pitched down he pitched down the stretch for the Dodgers. Yeah, I think he was a late.
Yeah, he sucked. He's garbage. Get him out of here. He sucks.
He made some solid money. The Ricketts threw some solid money his way.
I know. They gave him a ton of cash, and
instead of giving it to Arrieta.
Garbage.
Yeah, instead of giving it to Arrieta for whatever reason.
Well, because in comparison, they probably got Darvish at a discount compared to Arrieta.
That's true. It's going to come for me. The Central is going to come down to the Cubs and the Brewers. The Cardinals could make it interesting, but they'll wash out at the end. Pirates, nah. Reds, nah. But just solely because Joe Madden is a better manager than Counsell, and you don't give managers the credit that they deserve. I'm picking the Cubbies once again. AJ, who's your NL wild card?
In the wild card. I'll go with the Cubs.
The Cubs.
Yeah.
It's an even year, so I have to throw the San Francisco Giants in the playoffs.
Yeah, that whole even year thing blew up after like 4 years ago.
I do think the Giants will make it interesting again this year. I'm going to put them as my wild card team. And that is your quarterback center exchange. Way too early predictions. And guess what? That's probably all going to change by opening day.
I hope so, because I don't know anything about baseball. So
Once the Tigers decide to finally re-sign J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. He's going to end up in Boston.
You're probably right about Boston. AJ, what do you want to rant about to close out the show?
Let me tell you something.
Oh, I forgot one topic. I'm sorry,
Okay.
real quick. The New Look Cavs had one win, and they look fantastic in that one win. Are they the team to beat in the East once again?
I think they've had 2 wins.
I'm sorry, they did have another win.
They beat Boston, and then they beat Oklahoma City. So,
they did.
Yes, they are the team to beat. They just need some time to get everything figured out, but they're a lot better defensively already. And the good thing about the players they brought in, like Jordan Clarkson and Hill, is that they can create offense on their own as an isolation player, which is the way that Cleveland likes to play basketball. You know, they're young and they can move, and it makes them look a lot better than they did when I saw them play against Detroit the day that Blake Griffin got traded there.
Oh, were you at that game?
Yeah, but Blake Griffin wasn't there, but right. I was there at the game.
Right. I'm sure the stadium or the arena was hype when they got that.
Yeah, but it was a blow. I mean, it was a blowout. Detroit blew out Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm sure that was hype. It's always fun for a Detroit team to beat Cleveland.
I guess. I mean.
Hey, Jay, let's hear your rant now.
All right. So let me tell you a little something about this guy, Isaiah Thomas, also known as IT4, also known as a midget, also known as sucks at basketball. Give me a break, man. You suck. First of all, I was at that Cavaliers-Pistons game 3 weeks ago before you got traded, and you looked like a kid dressed up as Isaiah Thomas for Halloween. You sucked. You couldn't shoot. You couldn't pass, and you were just an anemic child out there on the floor. Secondly, with this whole parade with the Boston tribute and how you deserved what you were supposed to get, and you didn't want to get traded, and you didn't want to get traded from the Cavs, and now you're talking crap about LeBron James and he sucks. Listen, LeBron's the best player in the world. You either do it his way or you get out, which is what happened. You get on the first trip to LA and you're going to play with Lonzo Ball. Good luck with that, buddy. You suck. Your career's over. I'm sorry, about what happened in your personal life and everything, and you did well for Boston last year in the playoffs, but you are hot trash, bro. Get out my face.
Well, the good news is he'll be one of the.
He's terrible.
He'll be one of the 2 other starters on the Lakers when they bring in the other 2 balls, because that's a requirement. All 3 balls have to be on the same team.
That's not going to happen because Lonzo Ball will be out of the NBA before either of his brothers get into it.
I agree. If he's
because those other 2 are terrible, and I mean he's young, so I'm not trying to bash on him, but his got
brothers
a lot
are
of
younger.
I know, but his brothers don't have any of the talent that he has. This is what I'm saying. His brothers aren't good.
I've only watched like Lithuania basketball with them or whatever.
They're playing teenagers over there. That's not even pro basketball.
Aren't they teenagers?
Yes, they are.
But
they're calling it pro basketball. It's teenage basketball. It's high school. It's glorified high school basketball. That is all it is they're playing out there.
Isn't that the definition of AAU? Isn't that the definition of LeVar Ball's other basketball program that he started, an alternative for high school basketball?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. It's glorifying high school basketball.
It does not make the other 2 kids good, is what I'm saying. Lonzo Ball is the only good basketball player in that family.
Better than LeVar? As you can see there, folks, you can see AJ getting grayer hair by the minute.
Isaiah Thomas sucks, by the way. He is garbage.
AJ,
I mean, this guy, did you see the picture of him next to Dirk Nowitzki?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Dude, calling someone short doesn't mean he sucks.
No, he's terrible. I watched him play. He looks like an Oompa Loompa out there. He is hot trash.
If you like this gas bag environment we got going on here, hey, do us a favor. Drop us a subscribe. Leave
Isaiah Thomas is the worst. Oh
Isaiah Thomas. AJ wants you in a one-on-one.
Did you see his comments after he got traded? Talking about, LeBron James, this, that, and the other thing. LeBron James. LeBron James is the best player in the history of the planet.
I did not see those comments. I saw the comments right before he got traded when he said, I don't want to be traded. I love it here.
Yeah, that was after he held a hostile team meeting with Dwayne Wade, and they were sitting there talking about how Kevin Love is a little girl for getting sick. And Kevin Love's been the model citizen in Cleveland for the Cavs for the last 4 years, hasn't said a dang word bad about anybody, does what he's supposed to do every night, takes all the blame for everything for I don't know what reason, because it's not his fault. And everybody's always attacking him because he's the scapegoat, and Isaiah Thomas sucks, and he should be ashamed of himself.
If you liked what you heard, go ahead and leave a subscribe. Go ahead and comment if you disagree, because I personally think Isaiah Thomas is way better than LeBron James. I think he's the best player in all of basketball right now.
That's a fine. That's a lie, and that's a fine.
That's absolutely a lie. AJ, say goodbye to the fine folks. Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Isaiah Thomas, remember, people, it's a lie. He sucks. Don't pay him any money.